Hey, Scrapper Names fans, welcome back to another process video. Told you I had a few for you. This time I've got a bit of a mixed media 12x12 layout for you. Now, I didn't plan on filming this in the beginning, as you can see. So the camera gets turned on after all the mixed media is done. But what I have done here is I have used some the Australian company Colour Blast, one of their shimmer sprays, and I did actually spray it onto a piece of like clear plastic packaging and did the smushing technique. And then once that was dry, I had a Kaiser Craft scripty font, you can see stencil, and then some Heidi Swap blue coloured sort of texture paste with that really nice shimmer, and have run that through the stencil. And then I left it dried for, I don't know, about 24 or so hours. Normally I would whack it with the heat gun and then let it air dry a little bit while I'm fiddling around with the layout, but I had this idea, I needed to do it, so I jumped into my craft room, I think before we went to maybe lunch or something. It was over the Easter long weekend recently, and yeah, so did the mixed media and then come back to it later on the next day, and that's when I decided, hey, why not film this? All right, so the photo is probably one of my most favourite photos from my wedding, which was last year. It is the moment that my husband saw me for the first time at the top of the aisle, I guess. It is a moment in all weddings that, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, that is the most priceless moment. The moment the groom spots the bride. And I've been to a few weddings and I love it. I just, that awestruck kind of hopeless romantic in me moment. Anyway, so that's this photo here is also with my brother-in-law and my son, and all three of them have this beautiful look on their face that I loved, absolutely love. So it is my favourite photo from the wedding. And so glad my photographer knew to capture it. We had chatted to her beforehand, and she caught it absolutely perfectly. So that's what I'm scrapping today. I have, as you can see, added some layers to the photo using just some tissue paper, just to add a bit of softness because it is a really sweet photo. As well as a bit of texture. And as you can see here, I'm adding some more texture using, oh God, the name evades me of what it's called, but it's, I don't know, fabric-y kind of thing. I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me. Anyway, it's a gold sparkly one, which I thought was good too, as well as, well, no, I actually didn't use that white heart fabric-y stuff too. I keep trying to use it on this layout, but it doesn't make the cut. Now I'm just going to pop my photo up. As I said, it is my favourite photo, so it has to take centre stage here. Now, being that there is a lot of mixed media, you will see I use a lot of glue. I can't glue down the meshy fabric stuff, so I've used staples, my craft stapler thing, to staple it down and adhere it down. It will, I wish I could remember the name of it. We're just going to call it fabric-y stuff. Does get glue on it. It is tricky to adhere things to it as well. So as you can see, I'll cut it out anyway, but I actually put my staple gun on top of the photo to make sure it was really glued down with the as well because of the mixed media background. All right, so I've pulled these flowers from my stash, from one of my most recent Kitaholic kits. I think they're a Paige Evans one set, and I am just going through and sticking and plonking. So I really didn't do a lot of, you would have seen in some of the other layouts that I have just posted up, that I did a bit of auditioning on the page for the embellishments. This one, I just didn't. I sort of had in my head, I guess, what I was going for, I think, and so just went for it. and trying to use up these flowers because I have so much floral ephemera. It is driving me a little nuts, actually. I want some more ephemera that are more icons and things like that, so trying to use it up a bit. And just, as you can see, it's kind of like the photo's just sitting on a bed of flowers. Very, very strange. And I kind of go a little bit crazy here, to be truthful. I wasn't going to do a big cluster like this, and then all of a sudden it just took a mind of its own. And I added these flowers. They're very autumny looking because our wedding was in autumn last year here in Australia. So I just thought, good way of using them up. Matches the season of the photo. Let's go with it. Get them on the page. As you can see, just gluing. And I really have to make sure with some of this stuff that it is really glued down. You can see that you'll see as I go through, I'll glue something, hold it with one hand, and grab something else with the other. All right, pulling out my little wedding kit here. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the last video, I had made a wedding kit up, and you'll see the photo actually of it. I think I posted it on my Instagram a few months back. I redid my wedding kit, adding bits and pieces from my stash, more than what I had at the end of last year. And I generally have been doing couch scrapping with it. I haven't really had a lot of a chance to go out to my craft room because it's separate to the house. I usually spend my evenings inside. It's either been too hot, now it's getting quite cold. Thank God I've got a heater in there at least. So yeah, this little container is, again, I think I got this in the craft section at Kmart here in Australia, and just holds some smaller pieces and ephemera pieces and things like that I have purchased that are either wedding specific or matches the colour theme from the wedding. So as you can see here, just adding in some more of those wedding pieces, wedding specific stuff. I did have trouble with that flare badge that I popped on there as well, which was really a bit challenging to stick on. I had glue all over my fingers, so as soon as I stuck it down onto the page, my finger kind of got stuck in it, lifted it back up. It didn't adhere it really quickly, so I had to really hold it down to get it to stay stuck. So just adding all the wedding things on the page, really. It's really ends up being quite a busy page. There are some bits of the texture paste that is a bit smudged, you can see. So I have tried to cover that up a little bit. As the saying goes, you can always cover it up. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do here for some of the spots. These are funny little, I don't know if you meant to cut these pieces. They come in like little stamps, I guess they are. And there's like 6 to a section, and I've been cutting them because I don't really like the block look of them. So I don't know if that's what you meant to do, but they look like stamps, and so I've just gone with it. And they've got little pieces, like little sentiments written on it, and I quite like it. All right, just finding some little word phrase pieces. I'm just gonna, now I am gluing a lot of this obviously down. These are quite old, so the adhesive on them is starting to go, and I don't really want to be flicking through my album and have it pop out at me. I've had that happen recently with a couple of my other albums, and it's really quite frustrating actually. So just going with the rule of 3, adding 3 there. Alright, now just adding some more little details to the page. So I've got some wood veneer that are fairly wedding specific or lovey specific. So just adding them in just to add a little bit more detail to the page. And I like the wood veneer look. I think that's perfect for, I guess, the general overall theme, not theme, but vibe of the wedding, because it was outside. So yeah, wood kind of naturey feel. And this layout really didn't take too long to come together once the mixed media had dried and, I came and sat down. It just fell all together. I love when layouts can just do that, and then, I don't know if it's because I just had an idea and a starting point and off I went, as opposed to sort of just sitting down and going, now what? All right, now I don't make you watch me stick this title down, but I just wanted to show you that it is a black alphabet sort of, what are they, chipboard alphabet pieces. They aren't very sticky. They are quite old as well, but they've got that black with the gold, so I thought that just added a nice, instead of flat black. I also added some little acrylic shapes, hearts, to the page, which you'll see here in the close-ups, just to add some last little finishing touches. And I think I did add gold splatters, did I? I can't remember now. I did. Added some gold Kaiser Craft splatters to the layout as well, just for a bit bling. So I hope you enjoyed this layout, and I will see you again next time. Thank you so much for stopping by.